We said in Delhi, citizens launching a different kind of what is being called a civil disobedience movement. Residents' welfare associations, as we just saw, they're spearheading a movement to stop paying hiked power bills unless they say they get better services. They've brought out a 3-point demand list for the Delhi government, and joining us now on the program, Sanjay Kaul, the President's People's Action, who's really been spearheading this entire movement. Hi Sanjay, thanks so much for coming in on the program. Point demand list, if you can just quickly take us through what all that really involves.
Yes, this was what was decided on 14th July at the All Delhi RWA conference. The points that we said on a complete rollback of the 10% hike. We want no new meter replacement, and we want the ones that have been replaced to be replaced. And we said that you have to revise the privatization terms, which are very suspicious.
But you've had some sort of victory there. The government has said, okay, no further electronic meters, but that you don't want to really stop there. That's not good enough. All three demands have to be met.
Yes, we were mandated to go and seek these three, and 1 out of 3 is not enough for us.
Now, Sanjay, many would argue that someone really has to pay for improving the situation. We as Indians always seem to be complaining about how bad the facilities are, the infrastructure, especially in Delhi and so on and so forth, faulty transformers, etc. Who's going to really bear the burden?
The private company who seeks to keep the profit will bear the burden, should bear the burden. This is part of the misinformation that the government has wanted you to believe, that basically by creating 3 new monopolies instead of 1, we will actually be able to improve the situation, when in fact you know and I know that in a monopoly situation there is no incentive for the promoter or the private party to actually improve anything.
But the private companies here are saying that they do incur a lot of losses. Thefts of course are very common, but they do need some sort of money coming in to ensure that they don't close down, which is why they need this 10%. But
oh, that's a tragic tale. But anyway, the issue is...
You're not buying it, clearly.
Nobody's buying it, except of course the government of Delhi for some strange reason. The issue is, there is 40% theft, which I and my middle class friends don't indulge in. This 40% is being passed off as T&D, which is absolute humbug. T&D cannot normally cross 8 to 12%. Whatever else is pure, what we call theft and dacoity. Now, these companies have no incentive to stop that kind of theft. They have no incentive, and they probably don't have any interest in doing so because their returns are guaranteed by this government.
So, why do you think this is happening? Where is the money going to go to?
This is the whole issue. The entire privatization deal is almost bordering on a scam as of now. Every time you turn one more page, you find how things have basically been worked out to the advantage of private companies. 16% guaranteed returns. Which financial instrument in the world will give you a 16% return?
But this has been fairly common knowledge. How come we didn't see any protest then?
That's the problem. And in fact, now it's all coming together, so you'll see a lot more protests.
And what's the response really been like? Because as you were just talking a short while back, the Indian middle class is at times a bit reluctant to really come out and sort of give vent to their feelings, but what's the response been like?
But there's a limit to everything. So the Indian middle class is completely saying enough is enough. I have a poser on this. Find me a man in this city who says that this hike of 10% is justified. Find me one man in the city who says that the meters are working fine. And find me one man in the city who says the privatization deal was clean.
Right. Sanjay, that's all the very best. That's all I can say with those demands. The government has begun giving in on some of them. Let's see how the story unfolds from here on. Thanks so much for coming in on the show. Well.